The settings rule was put into place by the federal government to make sure people get the best services they can. But people are different. One size doesn't fit all when it comes to services. Some people may need a lot of support, and some may need just a little. Some people may need support every day, and others may just need support occasionally. The new settings rule talks about your rights. In the clip called "What Does the Rule Guarantee?" we talk about your rights. But sometimes there are times when your rights are restricted or modified in order to keep you safe and provide you with the best support. When you cannot do something you want to do, or when someone controls you in some way, this is called a restriction. Before a provider, the agency that provides you support, can restrict any of your rights, they need to do a lot of paperwork to show that they tried to do everything possible to avoid putting a restriction in place. And you need to be a part of these discussions and decisions. So when you need extra support, or when you are not able to take part in all of the freedoms the new rules provide, what happens? What does the provider have to show? First, they need to base the restriction on a specific need. So, for example, if a person had Prader-Willi syndrome and having unlimited access to food might make them sick, then the provider might work with them and decide it is best to keep food locked away and control what food the person has access to. But if there is no medical reason to stop you from getting food when you want, then the restriction probably doesn't make sense. They cannot restrict your rights for no good reason. Another thing providers need to do is show that they have tried other less restrictive interventions, but they didn't work. And they need to write about the other things they tried in your records. So, for example, staff cannot lock up the knives in the house because they are scared you might hurt yourself cutting a bagel. They would need to show that they did other things before taking away your rights, like teaching you to use a knife properly or other things that might keep you from hurting yourself. The providers need to collect data and other information on the restriction so they can track over time if it is helping you or not. If it isn't helping you, then they need to work with you to find other things to try. They should also have a plan to restore or give back your rights. Just because they remove your rights doesn't mean you lose them forever. The restriction is for a defined or limited period of time, and they need to meet with you regularly to talk about the restriction and if it is still necessary. And the restriction cannot hurt you in any way. Nobody should harm you. Providers and support staff are there to help you. Finally, they need to get your consent. You need to agree to the restriction. This means your provider needs to explain to you why they want to restrict your rights, how they think it will help you, explain any risks there might be, and go over the timeline for when they will reassess if it is working. If you have any questions, they need to answer them for you and explain it in a way that you understand. If you don't understand, you need to speak up.